Welcome back to another film session. Today we are looking at the run game versus the Raiders. Just to get a look at what's going on. There's 26 runs. I'm sure there might be some Caleb ones in there too. We'll get through what we can get through. No promises and all that. Let's jump into it. So I don't know what quarter or down this is. I guess it doesn't really matter. And unfortunately, I forgot to do that. So we'll have to keep slowing it down. So we get a zone. I already watched this play actually. So we get an inside zone. Let you kind of see the setup. So off the motion, and we're zoning to the left. Now we get a kick out on the edge. Then Jones is here. Really, let me see how we lined up. No, I feel like Jones is fine. He has to. That linebacker, he's kind of is where he is. He's in good position, but he's really over pursued. That gap's closed, so then we could force the cutback. They should double team up. Whatever. But either way, we get a bad double team back here by Jonah and 79, who's not really a rookie, but So, Jonah just does a bad job. He doesn't secure this double team, and 79 does not have he's not in position to overtake that block. So Jonah leaves him, and then he's open. Jonah works towards the back, or the linebacker second level doesn't really get him either. As I already told you, this linebacker was in the gap, so that kind of blows that whole thing up. All right, moving on. So next play, we got 3 tight ends on the field. So this is the play that Crosby blew up that people were talking about. Now, what essentially you got a double, well, no, I don't think it's double tight end. Oh yeah. Well, okay, let me back up. That's not a count. So you got a counter. It's guard tight end. But then you had a jet motion too, so it kind of looks like 3 people, okay, whatever, that's cute. So the counter's coming this way. I'm assuming it's not a read because they're trying to block Crosby backside. So this ball needs to be given to the running back. This isn't a quarterback option. So once we get to this point, once we get to the mesh point, so you can see the picture. Braxton, he's out of sorts. He's not he's out of position, my bad. I'm not sure who he's trying to block. And this is going kind of fast. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to keep jumping backwards. Anyway, the pullers are coming, so you should really have a down block. Depending on the call, you might have a double team here, but they got another person outside. Maybe kick out. But if you're going to the edge, then maybe double team here, leave the edge. Depends on the rules. Either way, the pullers are coming. So Braxton's working to the next level. Both of them leave him. Now maybe it's an inside counter and they're trapping the inside guy. Either way, Braxton doesn't block the linebacker. So there's that. The pull gets there. Jackson doesn't block that guy either. Komet ends up getting them, but I just don't know who was supposed to be where. But anyway, the issue I have is this is where the play is going. So Swift sees that Crosby beats the backside block, and really, I can't tell who that is. So you got a seal and wheel here. So really, you had some help chipping them. Now, why Swift didn't continue towards play side, I don't know. He decides to spin backside where there's no help. Obviously, Crosby gets him, but even if Crosby didn't get him, like, there's no blockers back there. You see, that's where Caleb is running for the fake. So I have no idea why Swift went the same way as Caleb. Like, that's where all the defenders are. In my mind, I know it's not a clean picture, but you see that pressure, you should be pressing play side. I mean, he's going to have to chase you. So I don't know why he didn't press towards his blocker or towards his pullers, but he didn't. And that's kind of why that got destroyed. All right, so, and I don't know this running back, Kelly. Hold on. What's his name? Kyle or Kelly. Oh, sorry, this person that tackled him. Oh, that's Kyle. I heard them say his name, but I don't remember. And the tackle name is Theo. Alright, anyway, I slowed it down for no reason because I'm going to the end zone. Oh well, I can't take all day getting these plays set up. Even though these are super fast for no reason. Okay, let's see what exactly this is supposed to be. We got two tight ends. Looks like I don't know what this is. All right, everybody steps right. Then we have an insert as well. So probably what a lot of people are calling a duo zone, which I have no clue why they call it that, when duo means something completely different. But either way, everybody looks accounted for. I mean, you just got Komet getting blown up. That's just what that is. I don't recognize that number, but that defender just did a good job. I don't know if this was supposed to bounce or what. I mean, to me, that's what it looks like your best bet. I mean, he did a good enough job making the person miss the first defender, but yeah, the timing of that play just got blown up. Okay, let's see what we got. One tight end in. Okay, they got 5 on. I was like, what is going on? Okay, they got 5 on the line. They leave this in. I mean, maybe it was a read. Maybe it was going to Caleb. Either way, it's a quarterback lead read. Pretty typical. Good job by Komet on the edge. Good job by Odunze. I mean, 11 just does a good job. Zacchaeus doesn't get in position to make any type of block. If we even slow him up a little bit, then Caleb has definitely more room to probably make that a touchdown. But 11 just did a really good job. I think that's Chin. Doesn't really matter. All right, moving on. Still in the red zone. One tight end, or two tight ends, really, one in the backfield. All right, so this looked like we blocked power, but then Caleb pulled it. So let's see what we got. So a bootleg off of power. Let me see. I mean, obviously the end makes a good play. Or that's a linebacker. Yeah, they had that 5-man. Really just an overlook, which they got base personnel out here. And which makes sense because we line up in 12 personnel a lot, so they wanted all their linebackers out here. So really, you got a under or over front, whatever. Really, this would be an over because 3 tech, or no, that's a 1 tech, so under front. But either way, you got that linebacker there, so it looks like 5 on the line. So that does mess up the traditional rules. Because if you were in a regular 6-man box, or if he was stacked, that play would have looked different. But if you do anything with him, then Braxton has to leave that end alone. Obviously, you can't do that, so Braxton has to get in 2 people's way, and that's just hard to do. And Pratt plays his position like he's coached to do it, and plays that backside really well, or plays the cutback, I should say, and the corner as well. Just Burden didn't give him anything. Not a bad thought. Definitely not a typical play you see, a bootleg off of power. So interesting. Raiders just did their job, and as I always say, sometimes defenses just do their job. All right, so we got another quarterback run. Real quick. So really 1 tight end here. All right, I see double kick out. I don't know if this was. It looks like a zone read. I mean, so similar to what we saw earlier, except there's no motion on this. And I'm starting to see this a lot. I'm not gonna lie. This little pin and go around, I'm starting to see that with guards and tackles. I'm starting to see that with receivers and everything. Anyway, this is an action you see on buck sweep anyway, but this ain't a buck sweep. Anyway, so Odunze pins. Komet pulls around, so he's effectively the lead blocker for Caleb. Again, trying to do that, as I said during either the recap or the community, this ain't Micah Parsons. As some players is, hey, we're gonna take you out of the game by putting you out in space and the island. Crosby's not one of them guys. He's a run defender, probably even better than he is a pass rusher. So I mean, it's tough to say what read this is. Really, typically if you say, okay, if he turns his shoulders, that's the only time you should keep it. So really should have gave this. With this, we have no second level blocks yet. They eventually get there, but I mean, Crosby probably makes that play, but obviously athletic enough to make that play as well. And these receivers, I mean, whatever. That we didn't even get to that point. All right, moving on. We're near the red zone again. As if you watch the game, you know we spent a lot of time in this part of the field. All right, we got 2 tight ends out there, but we're in like a bunch set under center. Okay, another zone. Bit of a wider zone. That should be a cutback. And it was. Okay, 7 yards, one of our better runs, and it came off bit of a wider zone. We're running to the boundary, so it ain't that much space, but because during the recap I was talking about, I said I don't know what we've been running every run, but I would like to see more zone. But I've seen a decent amount of zone here, so yeah, this would be a wide zone, just by everybody's step, somewhat. Because backside, well, I guess they modified it because they didn't want Crosby chasing backside, so they cut that off backside. I mean, it's good movement to the perimeter. And see, that's the thing, even because I don't know how the Raiders will line up. So yeah, they got 3 linebackers. So we got a seven man box. So let's see, he's head up, he's in a 2, and then he's spread outside the tight end. So there's a lot of space here. So that causes Braxton to have to go pretty, not far, but he has to step down for his block, creating big space, which is fine though, because that's the whole point of zone. So the linebacker makes the choice. He punches, closes that, but then that creates this cutback when people are doing their jobs, which they are. And that's why so many people like zone, because it gives you those options. So even when the defense technically does their job, you can still get yards on that. All right, next play. 2 tight ends. Under center again. This thing, man. All right, looks like we got another zone. All right, play side. Somebody messed up. Well, really? Okay, so since they got 3 stacked, I would assume you're going to zone combo here, zone combo here, zone combo here. So obviously you're taking a wide step. We got a bit of a wide zone. Linebacker doesn't move at all. So Braxton, you got to realize you're not always going to be the person to take over the block. Depending on what this stack looks like, you have to be the one to climb to linebacker. Now it's tough because he's getting his zone step. Again, he has to get pretty wide. He's got his zone step. Typically, that movement gets the linebackers to flow. He didn't flow. So now he has to turn around and get this linebacker, but he's not able to. We pick up this linebacker late. So doesn't look like a good cutback. It really isn't. Then both of these guys end up leaving 51, so now he's just wide open. And so that plays dead. But hey, I like the wide zone. Now, wide zone to the boundary, I don't know. I get it. You want the cutback to be within the field side so you got more space, but I don't know. But that's just a good play by the defense. And as I said going into the game, well, I probably didn't say, I think I was talking to one person, but the Raiders defense is a lot more solid than people gave it credit for. And we see whether it's Jamal Adams coming in, whether it's Chin stepping down from the safety, or whether it's the starting linebackers, they kept this 7-man box to counteract what Ben Johnson likes to do. All right, so we got real tight splits. We got 1 tight end in the backfield. All right, so this is essentially a split zone. Everybody's zone stepping down to their left, but then Komet's going to peel back and kick out the edge. That's a split zone, just out of a funky way to get to it, and does not work. I mean, Komet whiffs, so there's no cutback. Let's see what happens play side. I mean, everybody got to where they were supposed to. I mean, look, 96, he has a little bit of upfield penetration, but there's a body on him. We're moving him. I think, honestly, yeah, that's Swift. You got to keep going. You got to keep going on that one. I mean, you would think, okay, if this is getting blown up, the play side gap, then with my kick out block, if I cut back, I got momentum. Yeah, but just look at it pre-snap. Like, look what you have. You got these linebackers bumped over here. So he's going to be unaccounted for, and you know Crosby's going to be unaccounted for. Only one of them could get kicked out. Then you just got to read it. Like, you getting the handoff right here. I know there's penetration, but there's no edge. Like, run to the green grass. Raiders did a good job overall still. So I'm not saying that's totally Swift's fault. All right, so we're in the shotgun for one of those rare snaps. I mean, fake bubble draw. We got 6 in the box. We let 1 go free. I gotta assume that wasn't the plan, because nobody's pass. Well, they're kind of pass setting over here, but they're not pass setting over here. And if the plan was to leave this person alone, I would think you would want some type of pass set. I mean, Komet does run, kind of make it look like he's going out in a route, but they just weren't fooled as much as people think they were supposed to be. 51 just does a great job. All right. Next play, we under center. We got 2 tight ends. Who is 88? 88 is Steven Carlson. All right, we get a toss to the perimeter. Slow this up. Get a decent gain. 5 yards. Okay, we got tight end pro to one side. Off the motion again, trying to get cute. Again, trying to put Crosby in space. And honestly, that plan did not work pretty much all game. I would have much rather had this extra tight end backside over here, ran a toss there, and tried to kick Crosby out backside with a tight end. That's what I would have did personally, but empty ways. Braxton went out. Braxton's out right now on this play. So anyway, we do this toss. Looks like we're sealing the inside here. Kicked out. Crosby off the motion. Then we got a lead blocker. I mean, Crosby just destroyed. He just messed up 2 people. Not only does he shed Komet, he stops him from going to the next level so that he can't kick out the next guy. Now, technically you could call holding on that, but either way. So he rips him down. So now he takes 1 blocker, and then he outruns the second blocker. So now we got a man running free and Chin, which causes Swift to cut back inside, but backside pursuit ends up helping make the play. So, I mean, you know, good job to get some yards, but that was completely blown up. And a veteran savvy move, a crazy veteran savvy move. See, that's that next level. You know, people think, you know, physical does matter, but that IQ, man, some things you just don't know if you're not a student of the game. My bad. We got 2 tight ends on the field under center, so we're in the ace off of motion. We run another zone and get whooped. Let's see. 51, man. 51 beats his block. Let's see. All right, zone. He's going up there. Yep, pin him. 1-on-1. Jonah, terrible angle. See, you see how Thuney pins this guy? Like, you see how he works his feet, turns his hips, and then continues to move his feet. while Jonah, you take your step, you get lined up. He swims backside, which honestly should help you. And he turns slow, and then he doesn't move his feet. He just lets him run right by him. So anyway, you got backside pursuit. Play side, I mean, it's tight. Everybody's on their person, but 51, except the tight end, 51 just wins. I mean, and look, this is smart because, like I said, they kept, and then with this safety down, you really got an 8-man box, but 8 or 7, what that does is that changes the responsibilities when you get into a zone and stuff like that. So these tight ends, because of the numbers, a lot of times they have to go one-on-one. We saw even backside that we saw them go one-on-one with Crosby. Play side, they go one-on-one. And most tight ends in the league are not equipped to beat any of these edge rushers, let alone good ones. So, yeah, that play just got blown up there. And they were in pretty good. They were in pretty good position. So even if that didn't happen, that probably was a minimal gain. I didn't realize that Braxton went out in the middle of this game. Oh yeah, I like this play. It was 2 plays this weekend that I'm sure is going to pop up all over high school this week. This one and the Eagles touchdown out of the diamond formation where Jalen Hurts just whipped it over to Goddard. That was insane. Like, they really, and I know I say all the time there's nothing new in football. People have been creating some new stuff. Now, I ain't gonna, like, it ain't no game breaker, but people have been creating some new stuff. All right, so we get a fake flea flicker. Which we know we scored on a flea flicker last week. So not really blocking as hard. Everybody's getting back. They're retreating. And worked perfect. As soon as they retreat, just dip. Now, Swift could have been a little more patient, set those blocks up. But hey, 7-yard gain. Then we get the face mask. That was a cool play. That's been having fun. All right. Going into the red zone again. Three-yard gain. We got 2 tight ends to one side. Let's see. Kick out. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Whatever this is. Well, this is a stunt. So Jonah really has no chance because his feet are terrible. They had a double team here that's supposed to go there, and it's not getting off the line. Even though Thuney leaves it and does try to get to the second level. But really, they probably should have stayed on that. And then these 2 tight ends are fighting for their life on this edge. Yeah, I assume this is that duo zone, but maybe they changed the backside rule. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to get into that. But we see what the blocks were supposed to be. Whoever this is just does a great job on that double team. And then Crosby is on a slant or a twist with this blitz. Jonah can't pick that up. And actually, right around the same time that Crosby is making home, Tyree Wilson just blows this block up. Because if that didn't happen, it was a chance that you might have got past Crosby and had to go one-on-one with Devin White, but Wilson blows that block up, and yeah, Raiders just did a good job there. I just, man, you can't bank on these tight ends winning these one-on-one blocks. Unless you got like a Darnell Washington or something, like a true like physically dominant tight end. I know they're matchup nightmares and they're big and they, the tight ends look cool, but when it comes to this run blocking, especially coming out of college, unless you're a Kittle, most of them are not coming out of programs where they know how to block for real. All right, so we got another wide zone. End up hitting the comeback. How you say his name? Monaghay? And again, just smart. You do the wide 9, and then you put the linebackers in the gaps in between. So now when they do this zone, that tackle has to go far away, creating a big gap. Easy for them to fill. So now it's cut back. And again, I think we were in good position. Crosby again. Crosby's one of the issues. Like, Komet, you got to be better. You got to seal him off. That's too easy of a block. And then Jonah just does not get a good job at all getting to that linebacker. If he would have tied him up, this would have been a big game. Decent game as it stands. Okay. I was just about to say, and we run so much out of under center with all these tight ends that they was able to stuff the box like that. All right, so now out of shotgun, one of the rare shotgun run plays, and yeah, that's probably a scramble. I figured that would show up at some point. And I get it, man. That's the cool thing right now, especially copying the Lions and obviously us getting the Lions OC. Everybody wants to be under center for the run game now. But, there's a lot of years of experience going against under center run game. And so it's not like defenses have no clue what to do. Okay, we got 2 tight ends again. Let's see. Yeah, this is a straight up toss. They step out, crack down. Everybody's pinned everything. Just 1-on-1, makes a man miss, get some yards. Pretty simple. Let's see where we are. Okay, it's 4th quarter, 3rd and 1. Actually, perfect one. All right, 4th quarter, 3rd and 1. We got a tight end, but we're in a spread formation, real tight splits. They got AA gap mug. 6 right on the line. Here comes Komet. Then we go perimeter. I like that run. And one of the few out of the shotgun. I mean, look, especially against this look. Spread them out. Use the perimeter. Now, we keep running to the boundary, which, is fine. But, again, this probably wouldn't be my preference. But so we bring them in. Basically, we got a couple people in crack block position. So crack alert, you got to be ready to get hit. And then they fake it. They go outside. I mean, it's beautiful. Good job by Thuney being able to overtake this block. And really 51 messes up because he bubbles over. And that allows 2 people to just run in Odunze. Really, if he would have came upfield, he would have probably blew this up more. But he bubbles over. That allows us 2 free blockers. We picked that up well. Good run by Swift. I like that play a lot. Some tells me this is a scramble. I don't know. We had a couple Caleb runs. Oh. Nope. It's just a missnap. I don't know why they put that as a run. Alright, how many we got left? We don't got that many left. All right, I'm gonna do three more regular runs, including this one. So, I only see one tight end. Okay. Run our zone. Gain a 7. Again, more of a wide zone. Now they shorten up the splits, which was kind of smart too. Running wide zone out of short splits, condensing this, making people react a little quicker. I mean, Jonah actually gets to the second level, so that's a big part of this. He doesn't. I wish he would have stayed on it. Pratt presses the gap, so they peel off. They end up getting that, but the play size block, so we have to cut back. 75. I mean, he wasn't fast enough to get his block. 69. Butler is definitely up to field penetration, but not quick enough to get Swift, thankfully, and Jonah gives him just a half a second he needs to continue to run. Honestly, Swift probably could have cut back that way either way, and Jonah just kind of lets his block go, and that guy makes tackle. If Jonah stayed on him, probably would have been a better run. But overall, pretty good job. This is a scramble. Let's see, Swift. All right, we got another toss. 2 tight ends to one side, to the strong side. Again, going into the boundary. I mean, Chin's walked up. Yeah, we got 8 in the box. So this is like earlier, they try to step out and pin them in and just go to the edge. Straight up toss. I mean, Devin just really, I mean, hold on. What's the sideline view? So Doomsday is the only one over there. Chin's walked up, plus you got the corner, so the corner's unblocked. And then Devin White just makes a play. Finds the gap, shoots through. Let me see, Swift. Yeah, I mean, we were not in a formation to stop that. It's a scramble. All right, last one. We on the goal line or near the goal line. Shotgun run. See, we got one tight end, but we got a tight set here. So they combo. I don't know if that was what they were supposed to do. They leave this in. Or not that in, sorry. They leave Pratt. No, Pratt like blitz. That's what that was. But I would assume, I don't know, in this formation it's a little funky because we got 2 combos. I would assume this combo is for that backside backer. This one's for that one. So if he blitzes, then 79, I feel like should have picked up Pratt right there. Yeah, because they're peeling off towards White. Yeah, that was a missed assignment. Like, he's blitzing. You got to take him now. That should be one-on-one. But Pratt over pursues. They get movement on the double team, though, at least, even though they messed that assignment up. They get movement on the double team, so that creates some space. And then a good run by Swift. Okay. I think that's it. So I mean, we ran a lot. We did what I said. We didn't run an awful lot of power, really at all. Like we ran one actual power G, but then we bootlegged off of it. We did run a counter that didn't work well, but outside of that, we mostly ran duo zone is what people are calling it these days. We ran some outside zone, and so I was a little surprised by that, but we had a couple plays that were successful. But obviously, when we're talking about explosive plays and I won't say a dominant, but a strong running game, we haven't seen that. And really, even when we get good runs, it's kind of, at least in this game, it's been kind of narrow margins, which you can say about a lot of run plays, but it's pretty consistent with us. Like, any play, the tight ends can really get blown up, or a guy like Jonah, Darnell Wright, those guys don't make the play they're supposed to, or they're too slow to stay on the block, and a play gets blown up. So it's kind of like when you got an offensive line that you know can't pass protect, or if it's third and long and the D line's like, I'm about to tee off like full pass rush mode. It's kind of like that too when you got a team that you know doesn't run the ball that well. Like if it's a rundown, and or from your scouting, the tendency show they like to run in the situation. D line can tee off in the run as well, and we've seen that. Now earlier in the game, I feel like the Raiders were a lot more disciplined, and then they got a little bit over pursuing towards the end, and we took advantage of that a few times. But overall, man, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's tough to say. I just think we don't have the players to fully execute what we're trying to do. Now, I do think, again, we're better, same way in the passing game. I think we're better coached, and the scheme makes sense. But look, Detroit was built a certain way, and even though we brought in 3 new starters, they're all kind of different. Jonah is very different from Thuney. Dahlman came from a very different system than the rest of the league. Braxton, even though he got hurt, we know he is quicker, but not a lot of strength. And Darnell is the exact opposite of Braxton. So I honestly think our personnel is not all over the place. And then typically you'll have Loveland, and Komet is, so at blocking. Loveland probably doesn't block as well as him. So then you got 2 tight ends out there that aren't necessarily blocking. So again, before this game, I saw a lot with the tight ends of trying to get angles on people, trying to do power plays where we're pulling guys and we're kicking guys out and cracking down with the tight end. And we still do a little bit of that. But I think this game, it went to a more kind of simplistic approach, I guess. While we did have some runs that, were kind of cute, for the most part, it seemed like, hey, we're going to stick with this duo zone, which is the bread and butter. And I'm okay with that. And I think some games that's best to just stick to your foundation. But overall, I just don't think we have the personnel to look like a 49ers, to look like Detroit Lions or any of those other teams, because we're built weird. I mean, I felt that way the whole time, and it's not like obviously we can't get some yards, but our personnel, like across the line, they don't match each other. And that's one of the things they talked about in Detroit, and they talk about in a lot of Philly, like places that have highly regarded offensive lines. Even Atlanta, you had guys who all had that skill set. And you built not cohesive, but you build a line with synergy in terms of their ability, and I just don't think we necessarily have that. So anyway, that's it for me. Go down in the comment section, let me know what you think, share it around, get the convo started, thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.